All right, everyone, good to be with you again for another Thursday edition of our weekly trainings where we're going to help you either get more leads, close more sales, or improve your profitability. Today is going to be all about lead generation. And what we're going to focus on today is about how do you really approach or structure joint venture style relationships that really produce and mean something. So just to give a little bit of context, so let's again what we mean by joint ventures or referral partners. So let's just say I'm in HVAC and I find that I quite often need to talk to an electrician to help them take care of some work before I can do what I need to do. Or all right, I talk to a homeowner and I realize, hey, they need some plumbing work, but could also use they need somebody to help take care of some molds, or maybe a restoration company would be a good person that we both help the homeowner just with different things. So that's the general idea. How do you find and go about approaching those types of partners or finding the right ones that are going to be able to help send you referrals on a consistent basis, and all those ones that you can send to them. But what usually happens, or at least what I hear all the time, is that, yeah, that basic concept makes sense. And I think about it, I get it, but I'm not really seeing consistent results or referrals or business from those types of partnerships, even if I've already talked to somebody, or I get the idea, but I'm not really sure who to contact or how to contact them. So we're going to help really give you a quick framework, an easy way to be able to identify that strategy and make it come to life and produce for you regularly. So if that's you, if you've done this before and you've got something that's working awesome, then yeah, drop it in the group and tell us what you did that made it work so great. Because more often than not, when I talk to people about this, they get the idea, but it's just not producing. And there's some reasons why. We're going to show you how to do it effectively. So let's jump into a couple of quick slides that'll help illustrate this. And if you've got pen and paper, highly encourage you to take some notes while we're going through this. Get this stuff done now so you can go and apply it and start getting results right away. All right, so let's talk about these different relationships, joint ventures. So the first thing, again, just another clarify the terms a little bit, some of the words you're going to be using. So the joint ventures, again, you're trying to find somebody that you can do a revenue share agreement with, or some sort of, again, pay per referral, something that where you're able to monetize or leads that come to you, or you're able to pay somebody, excuse me, that you're going to compensate someone for sending you business, or you're going to monetize the leads or referrals you send out. But the key to creating them is to find someone who helps the homeowners just in a different way. Exact same kind of people. They just do something that's outside of your scope or outside of your scope of work or your expertise. Okay. So let's look at a different industry example outside of contractors, just to help us maybe get thinking about ways to identify who we should go and talk to. Let's use this event chain example for someone in the wedding industry. So in this example, I'm the florist. So if I'm the florist, I'm going to think about what's an event chain. And that's what that's what I want you to document just for take a couple of minutes. Write down what's an event chain for you, things that happen in typically chronological order. So if I'm a florist, I might think of the wedding industry as an event chain for me. Here's maybe a typical event chain. So I'm the florist, and I think that, well, the first step in the process, the first domino to fall is going to be the engagement ring. Okay. Until that gets offered and hopefully accepted, then none of this other stuff matters. Right. So the jeweler is probably the first one in the process. Once that domino falls, then all these other things come into play. What typical example might be, somebody would then get a wedding planner. Then they might, once they have that in place, then they might contact a church or a chapel. Then they might find a venue, maybe get the wedding dress. And then after they have those things in place, now it's time to find the florist. So if that's the case and that's the sequence, again, in your industry, based on where you are, what's a typical sequence? What are some of the things that people typically hire or get fixed or get done before you? Again, maybe if it's flooring, are there cabinets and countertops, or vice versa? I mean, what are the people that usually happen, or what are the other trades or other services for someone's home that typically happen before you show up? Because everybody above you in the event chain should be able to send you business on a consistent basis. What are the people that typically happen after you show up, after you finish the work? And what usually happens next? Again, thinking about your business and your industry, what are some of the things that your homeowners, that, hey, now that we got this project done, what's usually the next thing on their list? So because you should be able to send referrals to them and get compensated for doing so. So that's, again, just jot that out. Because let's think about how powerful this can be. So if I'm the florist and I'm getting at least one referral every single month from everybody above me in this chain, then I've got a lot of money to make. And if I'm able to at least send out one referral then each month, then I should also get compensated for doing that. And that can also be really profitable. Let's show you some back of the envelope or back of the napkin example numbers is what that could represent if I'm a florist. Okay, again, do this for you. So let's just say that flowers and maybe it's $3,000. I get one referral a month, then that's $36,000 if I get one per month from anybody that's above these. Again, about 5 people above me. If I just get one of those 5 to send me something every month, then that's 36,000 a year. Again, without having to spend any extra money on advertising. If I go and send, okay, if I am able to send people downstream, then that's going to give me an extra. Again, if it's $1,000 for typical on printing for someone on the printer side downstream, I get just 10% referral fee for doing that, and they typically spend $1,200 or $1,000. I get $100 there. Again, you can kind of do the math. It's pretty simple ways for this to add up. So add it all up. If I get just one a month from above and I send one a month from below and get cash coming back in for those referrals that convert, then hey, conservatively, I've added 40 grand a year to my business just by having those right key relationships. So hopefully this is making sense so far. Now let's think about, well, how do we do this and how do we get it done? So, and this is just a quick example of some of the ways you might approach some of those partners with what we call lead magnets. If you don't have a lead magnet in place, you're not sure what that means, what that is, drop a comment below. Let me know. We've got more tools to help you make sure that these strategies go work really, really well for you. So step number 1, your mission, should you choose to accept it, map out your event chain. Pause this video if you're not watching it live and just take a minute and map out, think of an event chain. What are some typical order of operations or things that your ideal clients, your homeowners are typically doing in order just based on the conversations you've had with them? Hopefully you've been doing this long enough where you get to know your customers well enough to know that if they have one part of their home that needs some attention or an upgrade or remodel, whatever that is, then they've probably done other things before you showed up. Or if you were the very first one, then get to know them, find out what they typically, what's next on their wish list for upgrading their house. So let's identify those top targets above you in that sequence. Hey, list a couple, and then just go do some research. Whether they're part of your current network or if you just use Google, right, or somewhere to go look for other people that are big players in your space or other people you'd like to contact, let's go and write some of those down. Again, if you're not watching this live, all right, and you're watching this on the replay, just hit pause and jot a couple of these folks down, and those would be people for you to reach out to this week. Now, one of the key mistakes that people often make is that we go and have that conversation. It's like, hey, we should do stuff together. Cool, great. But we don't really have a lot of specifics. And because you don't have specifics as to how that partnership might work, it feels like work for your potential partners to want to work with you. And so that's where the conversation usually goes silent and stalls and stops and doesn't produce. And so one of the key mistakes I want you to avoid is to go with them with, here's an offer, here's my thoughts and how I think this could work. Here, if you send anybody to me, then here's a percentage or a kickback, or here's an offer that you can give to your customers. Give you an example. So let's say that I'm a flooring company. I might say that, hey, potential partner, okay, here's a $250 gift card you can give out to them as a gift for working with me. But if you want to get your flooring projects done, here's $250 you can get off your flooring project when you're ready for that. And as long as you call these guys, and here's the card. So that might be, again, a really powerful, meaningful way for their customers to want to call you instead of anybody else. It also makes the partner look good because they're giving them this really high value offer for reaching out. So again, what's the offer? What's the incentive to be able to have the customer want to call you as the next step for when you're next in the event chain? Similarly, what's the below offer? Okay. How do you want to approach people that you're going to send referrals to? What's an amount that makes sense for them to do that? You might ask them, what would they like to offer your customers for calling you or calling them for their next project once they decide that they need that project that's outside of what you do. Okay. Get some clarity as to what that looks like. So again, a couple of keys to remember. Have a default plan. It's okay that if what you approach them with doesn't get accepted right off the bat, but if you just approach it very loosely and open-ended, then it's very easy for them to say, well, I don't know. Okay, yeah, we'll get back to it. We'll think about it later. But if you have a default plan, you're more likely to get oh, actually, no, I don't like that. Or maybe what if we did even better? Or maybe we changed it up a little bit differently from what you initially proposed. Great, that's fine. You just want to get something clarified and defined so that you can move forward and things actually happen. It gets put into place, get some feedback, okay? Second part, know their sales process. And when you think about who you're talking to, at what point would it make sense to have that introduction? Are they primarily doing business by online? Meaning, are they completing their payments for people online, or are they taking payments in people's homes? So that'll give you an idea of what style of interaction would make sense. Is it just having them email a link to your site, or is it actually handing out a physical flyer while they're doing the final walkthroughs of their previous project to then be introduced to you? Or is there some other communication through their whole bidding process? Maybe it's a general contractor. At what stage does it make sense for them to bring you up in their sales process as a potential referral for when they get the project done that you can help with? Okay. So know their sales process. That's going to be another key part for you to think about how your offer might fit in well. Again, make it super easy. Already have the flyer, already have the website, already have the offer, already have the link, already have the one-step thing that the homeowner will need to do to take advantage of why they should hire you, or when they're ready to hire you. They've got an easy way to take action on it. It's not something they have to go do a bunch of complicated work or do a lot of research to figure out why they should pick you. Last part is make it worth it. Okay. If you're going to offer someone $5 to send you a referral, they're probably not going to do much with it. Okay, it needs to be something that, whether it's from a cash perspective, or it's a percentage of the job, or it's a percent per flyer they give out, think about and understand from your perspective, hey, if someone came to me with this, would it be worth my time? And it's going to be a function of the value and the level of effort that's required. If you can solve those two things, you're going to get more referrals from that partnership every single time. And the last part, make sure to track it. This is a super easy way to be able to know where these offers are coming from, which of the referral partners are actually sending you business, whether it's a specific coupon code or a phone number that you give out. So you just know that, or it's a flyer that you give out. So when that comes in, you know, oh, hey, you know what? If I saw this, it's because Jim's Plumbing sent it to me, or whoever it is. All right. Making an easy way to track it. There's really no reason not to. So you can be able to evaluate which partners are doing it, which ones it's working well with, and you've got an easy way to have that feedback and have that feedback loop. Okay. So let me know how it goes. Give it a shot. Okay. It's just, if you have questions, you know how to get a hold of us. All right. Drop a comments. Love to hear what happens as you execute, as you implement. Again, these are just dead simple ways for you to generate more business, more leads without spending extra time on marketing or advertising. We will see you next week.